Hi, my name is Beatrice Medina, and I'm here to talk to you about the United Nations response to nuclear weapons. First off, what are nuclear weapons? The dictionary defines a nuclear weapon as an explosive device whose destructive potential derives from the splitting or combining of atomic nuclei. The world first saw these destructive weapons used on August 6, 1945, during World War II, when the United States bombed the Japanese city of Hiroshima, killing roughly 140,000 people by December of that year. 3 days later, before giving Japan any time to respond to the first bombing, the United States bombed them a second time, this time in Nagasaki, killing roughly 80,000 people by December. These blasts ended the war, but seeing them sent shockwaves of fear across the world. If the USA had developed and created disasters with these nuclear weapons, then what's to say that other countries won't do the same? 1 year after it was formed, the General Assembly held its first meeting in response to this fear in 1946, seeking the elimination from national armaments of atomic weapons and of all other weapons adaptable to mass destruction. However, this hope faded away in 1949, 2 years after the start of the Cold War, when the powerful Soviet Union tested their own atomic bomb. With this demonstration, a nuclear arms race breaks out between two of the most powerful countries, the United States and the Soviet Union. 3 years later, even more horror emerges as the UK tests their bomb, and the United States detonates a hydrogen bomb, a bomb nearly 500 times more powerful than the one dropped in Nagasaki. In turn, Bertrand Russell and Albert Einstein in the Russell-Einstein Manifesto remind the world of the danger that comes from these nuclear bombs and asks that scientists should assemble in conference to appraise the perils that have arisen as a result of the development of the weapons of mass destruction. But still, the tests rage on, contaminating the earth and greatly disrupting the environment, leading to the creation of the Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament in the UK. As the UN and the rest of the world watches the protests and riots of people in response to nuclear weapons, another country joins the race as France tests its first nuclear weapon. The years 1960 through 1964 proved to be some of the scariest that the world has ever seen, as the Cold War escalates and nuclear weapon testing is at its peak. The Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 shocks the world when the United States and the Soviet Union nearly break out into nuclear war. Seeing this causes the United Nations to make another attempt at nuclear diplomacy with the 1963 Partial Test Ban Treaty. This treaty, signed by the Soviet Union, America, and Great Britain, called for no testing in our space, the atmosphere, and underwater, which only causes the countries to move their testing underground. As nuclear weaponry testing still rises, China joins in on the action, and the threat of mutual assured destruction is a very real one. Mutual assured destruction is a security policy that says if two or more countries detonate nuclear weapons on each other, then both the defender and the attacker would be completely annihilated. In noticing this quite scary and dangerous new mindset, the United Nations passed the Non-Proliferation Treaty, aka the NPT, which called for the prevention of nuclear weaponry spreading, the advancement of nuclear disarmament, and peaceful uses of nuclear energy. But once again, despite their efforts, the UN's actions proved to have little effect, as India tests a bomb and Israel is exposed to having up to 200 nuclear weapons. Then in 1987, things seemed to turn around when the United States President Ronald Reagan and Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev signed the Intermediate-Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, which eliminates all of their nuclear and conventional ground-launched ballistic and cruise missiles with ranges between 300 and 3,400 miles. The signing of this treaty, along with a strong and massive campaign led by the citizens of the world, created momentum in favor of a nuclear-free world. For years after, many countries and regions become nuclear-free, such as South Africa, Southeast Asia, and the Ukraine. And although the positive outcomes from this treaty were not due to the United Nations were not totally ineffective in their efforts against nuclear weapons. Yes, their initial responses did not make a significant impact with the weapons, but the Non-Proliferation Treaty has been signed and agreed to increasingly by countries, proving that it makes a difference. In the 1996 Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, signed by China, France, the UK, and America, has succeeded in brightening the future. Nuclear weaponry is still a major threat today, and the United Nations, as well as the rest of the world, has their constant eyes on it, and hope to eventually prove that caring so much about it can and will eliminate it. My name is Beatrice Medina, and thank you for watching.